Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we shall be discussing the cartoon show that came on for Nickelodeon from 2002 to 2006. One of the most underrated shows, in my honest opinion, when it came to Nickelodeon shows around then, and that is The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Now, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius originate from Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, which was an hour-long movie that basically focused on Jimmy, a boy genius, sending a toaster message to talk to outer life, basically, and communicate with outer life, basically aliens out there. His communication thing ended up getting picked up by King Goobot, who came up, took the parents away, took them to the planet, made them dance for a chicken, and made them almost be sacrificed for a chicken before all the kids came out and saved the parents. Now, this led up into the 3 seasons of Jimmy Neutron, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. But what you guys do not know is that there was supposed to be a 4th season of Jimmy Neutron. And recently, in the past couple of years, Jimmy Neutron has been talked about getting a revival because the new executives for Nickelodeon have been looking to revive old shows. That's the reason why that iCarly reboot has happened. That's the reason why other reboots could possibly be happening. All that got a reboot. So could Jimmy Neutron actually get the 4th season? Well, I wanted to go straight in and talk about 2 specific episodes that the scripts have been leaked that would have been a part of the 4th season. And from what I can read, man oh man, Jimmy Neutron season 4 would have been amazing. So without further ado, let's get on into the 2 scripts and what those two episodes would have been about. So one of these episodes would have been titled Deep Impacts, and as I can see right here, Deep Impacts was supposed to be the plan to be the 4th season premiere was supposed to be the season premiere for the 4th season of Jimmy Neutron. In this episode, Jimmy brought his entire class to the moon to watch an asteroid impact its surface, which, I gotta be honest, kind of sounds interesting for Jimmy, but not really his classmates. And after they made a few jokes about summer break, and I feel like, summer break, picking off from season 3 to season 4, one of Jimmy's old nemesis ends up coming out to strike him and try to attack him and the kids, but I'm pretty sure Jimmy eventually gets the better of his nemesis, like always. And that is what the episode titled Deep Impacts would have mainly been about. Now, there's another episode that would have been titled Three's a Crowd. And this episode would have been the most interesting thing because when I get into the scripts for these episodes, man, what I think would have happened between Jimmy and Cindy, it's all but confirmed now thanks to Three's a Crowd. Three's a Crowd deals with Cindy and Betty going into Jimmy's lab. Cindy and Betty settle their differences, and Betty makes Cindy admit the reason why she hates Betty so much, because she's in love with Jimmy. And basically, by the end of the episode, they're supposed to work together, defend against Jimmy's robots after his lab goes haywire, and they have to work together to get out there along with Libby. So that would have been a very decent episode, considering it would have finally settled the beef between Jimmy's 2 love interests in the show, and all but confirmed Cindy to be Jimmy's main love interest for the rest of the season, and possibly would have confirmed Jimmy Neutron and Cindy, for Cindy Vortex as a couple. I almost forgot her name. But now let's get into the scripts for these episodes, and if you guys do not know, I will be reading this off the side of the screen, so if I keep looking off the camera, that is what I am looking at. So, in Deep Impacts, the script starts off with an irritated Cindy Vortex stands on the front steps. Where the heck is he? Libby sits next to Cindy. Chill out, Cindy. He'll be here. Why do you care anyway? You know Neutron. If he's not here by now, then he's planning some elaborate entrance that ends with an explosion. Libby, you got a point. Sheen, man, that spring break was long. I feel like I haven't seen this place in 10 years. It's only been a week, Sheen. Libby and Sheen, man. That's another couple I was very excited for when it came to Jimmy Neutron. Carl, have you guys seen Jimmy? And it's like, not yet. The warning bell rings, so we're soon head inside. I'm guessing it'll start about now. What will start? Moving on into the second page. Far in the distance, Jimmy flies into view. He crashes Cindy. Jimmy rockets towards the school, his jetpack spiraling in every direction. He is yelling, "Sheen, $5," says he lands on the roof. "Got change for 20, Libby says. Jimmy's jetpack finally seems to stabilize and then he shoots forward and barrels into Cindy. The duo flies across the playground. They pass a Twonky and a squirrel who are perched side by side on a seesaw and watching them. Jimmy and Cindy land in a heap on the ground. Jimmy, I can fix that." Cindy sits up and rubs her temple. "Nice invention, Neutron." She extends her hand to Jimmy. He clumsily grabs it and is hoisted to his feet. "Maybe next time he can land somewhere that's not me." On the ground, an airbag repeatedly deploys from Jimmy's backpack. Miss Fowl strolls into her classroom. Now, just from those 2 pages, I would have been very interested in the episode, considering it kind of is a throwback to the original first movie of Jimmy Neutron, because if you guys do not know this, Jimmy Neutron he didn't crash into the school or crash into the moon. He crashed into his house, which is kind of, I guess it is kind of a little throwback, even though a lot of the characters that are Jimmy's friends right now weren't Jimmy's friends at the start of the movie. But I guess that is a little kind of throwback. But I'm not going to read the whole script for you when it comes to that. But what I want to get into is page number 5 for Three's a Crowd. Because page number 5 for Three's a Crowd, man, I love this page so much. They're in the lab. Alarms are sounding, and there's robots going to attack Cindy and Betty. "He's yours, Cindy, so accept that and help us get out here, or sit there and get killed by Marvel robots. It's your choice." So by this point, Betty has realized, obviously by now, that Cindy is in love with Jimmy, and she's just like, "Yeah, I don't care about Jimmy. He's yours. Do whatever you want with him. Like, you can be with him. I do not care." Cindy is still denying it, saying, "I'm not his," while whispering. Then Libby says, "We need to go now. There's got to be a button or something around here." And then Cindy goes for the blueprints. So maybe they'll show a escape route. Here it is. And then Cindy is digging into the drawers of where Jimmy's computer is. And now I remember you guys probably thinking, or probably even remembering, seeing that one episode, Cindy is pulling out the drawers, or one of the drawers is open, and you can see that Jimmy has a whole bunch of Betty Quinlan photos. But what's in this drawer now? It's completely empty, except for one thing. And when I describe it to you guys are going to freak, because this all but confirms Jimmy Neutron and Cindy Vortex as a couple. Cindy slowly opens the drawer, picks up a photo. Jimmy and Cindy are at Retro Brill. He has his arm around her shoulder. Both are smiling wide for the camera. Cindy lowers the photo and slowly smiles. Man, when I read that, my face lit up, because I always knew from the first movie that Jimmy Neutron and Cindy Vortex were gonna get together, because it's the classic thing of, these two bickering so much because they like each other. These two have very similar interests, so they're very similar characters, so they're definitely gonna have very similar interests. And it took 3 seasons for what possibly could have been. And if Nickelodeon does decide to greenlight a 4th season for Jimmy Neutron, well, based off of Three's a Crowd, and this is not even the season finale, apparently from what I've been reading, their goal was to show the Jimmy Neutron gang, not only strengthen their friendship, but also realize how they were as a true family. Over the season, the kids would have discovered how much they need each other as they encountered both old and new villains, which means like they could have brought somebody like Professor Calamitous, the Junkman, Eustace Stritch, even King Goobot, who they brought in for like 2 episodes of I think it was season 3 in the League of Villains. I think they brought back King Goobot, so that was a kind of nice throwbacks. These villains may be planning something bigger than the kids have ever faced, but the children were worried about the 5th grade ending, because obviously with the 5th grade ending, they're going to be going to 6th grade, and they're not going to really know where everybody's going to head to. And this would have been a season to finally show Jimmy and Cindy's dynamic, how their dynamic relationship continues to evolve as they begin to realize there's little point in continuing to pretend they hate each other, and they finally realize how much they like each other. And I'm pretty sure what would happen at the end of the 4th season, if it does happen, is that Jimmy and Cindy would have finally been together. Sheen and Libby would have finally been together. And I can probably bet you they would have done something for Carl too. Because Carl, like in Jimmy's mom, was kind of weird. But if they were to do something for Carl at the end of the 4th season, I would have loved to see that. So that's my honest opinion about that, and that's why I just have to say about Jimmy Neutron's 4th season. What would have been, or what could be coming, because, like I said, past couple years, Nickelodeon executives have been rebooting old shows, and there's a very strong possibility that Jimmy Neutron could be getting its 4th season coming soon.